Starting GTA Online in 2026 can feel brutal. You spawn in, you've got no money, no businesses, nothing unlocked, and you're just standing there in a default outfit wondering what you're supposed to do. This video is going to be your shortcut. I'm going to walk you through a simple path you can follow as a new player to start making real money. Not a few hundred here and there, but hundreds of thousands and then millions, without shark cards and without glitches. By the end of this, you'll understand what to focus on, what to ignore, and how to turn GTA Online from confusing into, okay, I know exactly how to get rich. First, we need to make sure you're not weak and broke. After you make your character and you're finally in free roam, don't worry about flexing clothes or cars yet. Open your in-game phone, go to the internet, and check the different websites for anything marked as free. You'll be able to grab a free garage, so do it. You'll also have access to a free Ducal Death. Absolutely grab it. It's an armored muscle car that's basically easy mode for early missions. Basically, it lets you drive into missions, park, and shoot from inside the car. Next stop is ammunition. As a new player, you'll usually see a few weapons listed as free. Early on, you're not chasing the perfect meta gun. You just don't want to show up to a stash house with a starter pistol and hope for the best. With a safe car, a place to store it, and some basic weapons, you've already made your life a lot easier. You're still broke, but you're not helpless. Now we're going to talk about a little routine you can do almost every time you play. Your first stop should be the Diamond Casino. Go inside, watch the intro for the first time, and then every real-life day, you get one free spin on the lucky wheel. When you're brand new, even something like $25,000 from the wheel feels huge. After that, keep an eye out for the stash house icon on your map. The first time you walk into a stash house, it might go badly. There are multiple enemies inside, you don't know the layout, and it's easy to run right into a shotgun and get dropped. That's normal. Once you clear the house, look for a sticky note somewhere inside, because that has the safe code written on it. Go to the safe, enter the code from the sticky note, grab the stash, and get out of there. Some cars will show up, but they're easy to take out or just try to escape them. A stash house gives you a solid payout around $30,000 in just a few minutes plus RP. On top of that, you'll also see G's Cash on your map. These are even easier. You go to the area, pick up the package, and you're done. These usually drop another $20,000 or so just for showing up. So right there, just from a casino spin, one stash house, and G's Cash, you can easily start your session around $50,000 to $80,000 ahead. That's before any real missions or heists. Do that consistently and you'll feel your money start to climb instead of constantly being stuck at zero. Once you have a little bit of cash, it's time to stop using the only free stuff and get gear that can actually carry you through harder content. Go back to ammunition with money in your pocket and focus on three things. First, buy body armor. It's basically a second health bar. Second, buy a proper primary gun. A great early option is a rifle like the Special Carbine. With a weapon like that, you'll notice missions suddenly feel less terrifying. Third, pick up some explosives like sticky bombs. These give you a way to deal with vehicles and groups of enemies. Now we're going to use missions that actually lead somewhere instead of doing random jobs scattered around the map. That's where the first dose missions come in. You'll see these as these colorful icons that are tied to Dax and his crew. They look chaotic and silly, but they're important. They give good money for a new player, they level you up, and they eventually unlock your Acid Lab, which becomes one of your best passive money makers later. In First Dose, you'll be fighting the Lost MC, defending vehicles like RVs, and doing multi-stage shootouts. This is where your armored car and your better gun really start paying off. When you're driving into these missions, use your Ducal Death or whatever your best armored vehicle is. And doing this, you'll also see what it's like working with random players. Sometimes they help. Other times they sit in your car and do nothing. Or they drive off with your vehicle and flip it like a turtle. You just have to assume that you might be the only serious player in the mission. First Dose also throws in some fun, weird stuff like the mission where someone becomes a rabbit and has to run to the end while everyone else tries to stop them. Missions like that keep the grind from feeling like homework. By the time you finish all of the First Dose missions and mix in your daily money routine, it's very realistic to be sitting on hundreds of thousands of dollars. In my run, after combining daily money, stash houses, some early activities, and the First Dose line, I was already up to around $650,000. That is more than enough to stop feeling broke and to start planning bigger moves. After First Dose, you'll unlock the Last Dose missions. Think of these like the second season of the same show. Same characters, but with higher stakes and tougher fights, and better rewards. Last Dose missions put you into longer shootouts, larger areas full of enemies, and more situations where staying in cover and using armor properly really matters. You'll also start seeing more enemies and helicopters. This is where a homing launcher becomes very useful. Money-wise, Last Dose pays very well for a new player. Each mission can pay around $100,000 when you include bonuses. So if you commit to finishing the whole chain, that's several 100,000 more in your bank account just from this storyline. And when you complete all the Last Dos missions, you'll also unlock a free car. If you don't have space to store your new car, buy a cheap condo or a garage. You don't need anything fancy, just somewhere to put cars. Hey, if you're still here watching the video, thank you. Let me know you stayed by commenting GTA 6. At this point, between your daily routine, first dose, and last dose, it's very realistic to be in the 600,000 plus range or higher, depending on how many other side activities you're doing. You're not rich yet, but you're absolutely not broke anymore. Once you have that kind of money and you're comfortable in longer fights, it's time for your first proper heist, the Cluck and Bell Farm Raid. This is your first big boy job. You run it with Vincent, and there are 5 setup missions before the finale. In the setups, you'll do things like stealing cash while a guy just watches and doesn't even try to stop you, breaking into a terabyte that's protected by deadly drones so you can steal a hacking device, and tracking down a specific target to steal his laptop. There's also a really cool setup where you have to steal a train. You fight your way onto it, crash into obstacles like badly placed helicopters or vehicles, and take control of the train. It feels like you're in a movie while you're doing it. You also have to steal weapons and gear, get a getaway vehicle, and then in the final setup mission, you hack some vans, steal Cluck and Bell uniforms, and then use those to get close to the cartel's vehicles. And for that mission, you can try to play it quietly. You slip inside, take out enemies as silently as you can, sabotage their vans, and then move deeper in. At some point, you'll probably get spotted, especially the first time, but that's okay. You wipe the CCTV footage so you're not on camera forever, you drill into some lockers to steal a keycard, and then you escape. Once all those 5 setups are done, that's when you finally start the actual heist. In the heist, you start out fully committed. You're under attack almost immediately. Just use what you learned in the setups to push through enemies, gather up the product, and then you crack a safe. When it's time to escape, one of the very best tricks is to use the train tracks. At the end, you meet up with Vincent and get paid. On a first time completion, you get the normal heist payout, plus a big bonus for doing it for the first time. So that means $500,000 for the heist itself and an extra $250,000 as a first time bonus. Then just go ahead and run it again and get another $500,000. Between the bonuses and repeat runs, you'll end up with around $1.5 million. So just from your daily money, dose missions, and Cluck and Bell, it's completely possible to go from broke to over $1 million in a fairly short amount of playtime. Once you've proven you can handle a full heist like Cluck and Bell, the next big step is investing in the Kosatka submarine and the Cayo Perico heist. The Kosatka costs a lot, a little over $2 million, but it opens up one of the best repeatable money methods in the entire game. To get started, you go down to the music locker under the Diamond Casino. You meet with the DJs and the Madrazo contact, and that takes you to El Rubio's private island as part of a party. The game doesn't really explain everything, so at first you might feel lost. Guards are blocking paths, telling you the area is off limits. If you pick the wrong route, you can literally get stuck bouncing off rocks and fences like I did. What you're trying to do is wait for the right moment to slip past the guards, leave the party area, and make your way to the communications tower. When you finally get there, you climb up, hack the tower, and access the island's camera system. Through the cameras, you look around until you find the main target, like the Madrazo files, plus any extra loot like cash, weed, or gold. You can also see fun details like a guard getting taken down by a panther. Poor guy. While you're scouting, you also want to mark useful things like the drainage tunnel near the main compound. After you gather the intel, you head back to your Kosatka to start doing the prep missions. These preps will have you stealing a cutting torch from a construction site where you put on a hat and just walk in like you work there. You'll grab weapons, and you'll pick up gear you'll need to get in and out of the island. The prep missions aren't as flashy as the heist finale, but it's a necessary step that we all have to take. When all the prep is done, you launch the Cayo Perico heist. A very common approach is to use the drainage tunnel. You swim in, cut through, and sneak your way into the compound. There are guards and cameras everywhere, and the goal is to stay quiet, take out one guard at a time, and avoid alerting the whole island. Eventually, you're going to run into the fingerprint hacking minigame. The first time you see it, it can be very confusing, but the idea is simple. You're rebuilding a fingerprint from pieces in the right order. If you're playing with someone else and you're not confident yet, you can let them handle it and watch how it works. Once you're inside, you grab the main target, fill your bag with whatever high quality loot you can find. Gold is especially good if you have access to it. And then it's time to escape. Grab the nearby bikes, drive them to the edge of the cliff, and land in the water. Even with another player taking a cut, Cayo Perico can give you a huge amount of money in one run. But it is easily one of the strongest payouts in the game compared to the time it takes. If you combine a few Cayo runs with the money you already made from Cluck and Bell and the dose missions, you're now firmly in the multiple millions range, not just scraping by. Now, while you're running these heists, you're also going to want something in the background that's making money for you while you do other things. That's the Acid Lab. And because you've completed the first dose missions earlier, you eventually get a mission to set up your Acid Lab truck. In that mission, you steal a specific truck and use a forklift to load crates onto it manually. Once that's done, you bring the truck back and you pay to install the lab equipment inside. It's a big upfront cost, and at first it might feel painful spending that much, but it turns the truck into a real business. The Acid Lab converts supplies into product over time, and when the product bar is full, you sell it for a big payout. You can get supplies in two ways, stealing or buying. Stealing supplies sends you to places like the far northwest corner of the map, where you sneak past Merryweather enemies and find a small stash hidden in a tree. It's fun the first time, but you'll notice that you don't get that many supplies for the amount of time that you put in. Buying supplies costs you money, around 60,000, but the product you get from those supplies is worth way more than that when you sell. Once you're earning serious money from heists, it usually makes more sense to buy supplies, then let the lab produce, and spend your playtime running things like Kaio instead of grinding slow supply runs. To really power up your Acid Lab, you need to do Fooligan missions for Dax. He'll send you jobs like taking out a target and then taking a picture of them, stealing a truck and delivering it, or bigger ones where you steal a Merryweather helicopter and use it to blow up their transports and their depot. Each Fooligan job pays a chunk of money, but more importantly, you want to complete 10 of them. There's about a 48-minute cooldown between missions, so you can't span them back to back. But while you're waiting for those cooldowns, you can do other things like the Junk Energy Skydives. There's 10 of these, and each one pays a little money, and there are bonus payouts for completing all of them and getting gold on them. Doing all of the skydives can give you around 200,000 total, so might as well. Anyways, once you finish 10 Fooligan missions, you'll unlock the Acid Lab upgrade. This is where things get serious. The upgrade makes your lab produce product faster and increases the sale value. With the upgrade, a full Acid Lab sale jumps up to about $350,000. Now, your first few sell missions might be a little confusing. You get told to make deliveries, and you have to hide the product in spots where no one can see you. If you mess around too long, the cops can show up. But once you understand the patterns, it becomes a nice, repeatable background job. And if you do it in a public lobby, you can make over 500K, which is a nice chunk of money. So while you're out there doing Cluck and Bell, running Kaio, or trying other modes, your Acid Lab is quietly filling up. Every time it's full, you sell and grab another $300,000+. Combine that with your heist money, and you're now on a path where making millions isn't some impossible dream. It's just what happens when you keep playing smart. There are two last things you should know: how to avoid wasting your money, and how to grab little extra boosts when they show up. Wasting money usually happens with cars. I know, it's really tempting to buy a fancy sports car the moment you can afford one, throw all the upgrades on it, and then try to use it for the time trials and races. The problem is, some cars can handle terribly, especially on bad roads or in the rain. You can spend a ton of cash only to find out the car slides everywhere and doesn't actually help you make more money. A better way to think about it is this: early on, only spend big money on things that help you earn more. That's your Kasatka, your Acid Lab, your weapons, and your armor. Once those are all up and running and you've got money flowing in, then you can buy cars purely for fun. On the flip side, there are little things that are always worth grabbing. The gun van sometimes sells strong weapons like the military rifle at a discount. If you see a good gun on sale and you can afford it, it's a good investment. Random events like seeing someone run out of the store they just robbed. The game's going to reward you with some bonus money, like an extra 20,000 just for being a good Samaritan. Small stuff like that won't make you rich by itself, but combined with everything else, it helps you get to your next big purchase faster. So let's put everything into one simple roadmap you can keep in your head. You start with nothing, so you claim any free cars and a free garage. Then you grab free weapons from ammunition. Use your free Duke of Death so you don't die every 5 seconds. And every time you log in, spin the casino wheel, hit a stash house, and grab G's cash. You run the first dose missions, then the last dose missions. Those storylines give you good money, level you up, unlock a free car, and open the path to your Acid Lab. Then you take on the Cluck and Bell farm raid as your first serious heist. The setups teach you stealth, hacking, and bigger fights. The heist itself throws a big payout at you, and with the first time bonus and a return, you can easily walk away with over $1 million from this heist alone. With that money and your dose cash, you invest in the Kosatka, unlock Cayo Perico, and start running that heist regularly. Each successful Cayo puts another big chunk of cash in your account. In the background, you set up your Acid Lab, complete 10 Fooligan missions to unlock the upgrade, and start selling full product for around $350,000 each time. That is your passive income. It makes money while you play. Along the way, you avoid wasting money on cars that don't help you. You grab discounts and random event rewards when you see them, and little by little, your bank account starts to look less like a joke and more like something serious. Follow this path, and you go from feeling lost and broke to having steady, repeatable ways to make money. And from there, you can start aiming for whatever you want. High-end cars, flying bikes, $1 billion goal, whatever your dream is. If this guide helped you figure out what to do next in GTA Online, drop a like, subscribe if you want more money guides and progression tips, and tell me in the comments how much cash you're sitting on right now. Thanks for watching, and good luck out there in Los Santos.